flowing at home. Okay. So today I have you start off. I'll have you start seated in a nice easy pose. And place your fingertips and your hands on the ground and lift and shift your hips so that you feel that your sit bones are rooted evenly onto the mat. If you want, you can suss around a little bit. Place your hands on your knees. Slowly push yourself back. So the shoulders are in line with the hips and then ears are in line with the shoulders. So bringing the neck back just a little bit. It might feel weird. And if you want, you can have your palms up, and that encourages some external rotation in the shoulders. So kind of suss around and see what you need today. And as you bring yourself into your practice and into your space, take a full inhale in through the nose and exhale out through the nose. Keep taking breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the nose. And just notice or take your focus to the point of your nose. So as you inhale, notice how the breath is entering. And as you exhale, notice how the breath is exiting. Just for a few cycles of breath. That's all I want you to focus on. Let's take a nice full inhale in through the nose. And as you exhale, have the shoulders slide down and away from the ears. And then as you inhale, take a nice full inhale in through the nose and have your chest to expand. Ooh, she's getting sassy. Come here. And then as you exhale, imagine the torso knitting in. And take a few cycles of breath here. So you're still focusing on the inhale in through the nose. The exhale, the shoulder blades are sliding down away from the ears. Inhale, still coming in through the nose, ribs expand. Exhale, shoulder blades slide down, ribs knit in. This time, get your belly involved. So a nice full inhale in. Get the upper body nice and big as you inhale. Take up a lot of space. And then as you exhale, allow everything to come in. Inhale, take up space. Exhale, allow everything to come back in. Beautiful. Keep this motion going if it's serving you. And then on your next exhale, tip the chin to chest. Take a few cycles of breath here and notice any tension that you may have in the back of your neck. And then roll your chin over towards your right shoulder. Take a breath here. Don't rush it. And then as you exhale, come back into center. Roll your chin over towards your left shoulder. Take a breath here. And then use your breath to roll from side to side. So coming back into center as you exhale. Right chin or right shoulder, inhale. Center as you exhale. Left shoulder as you inhale, and flow back and forth here at the pace of your breath. And then complete whatever cycle you're on and meet with chin back into the chest. And while we're waiting here, really focus on just creating a nice long spine from base of the tailbone up. And since you have some forward flexion going in the neck, just be gentle there. Awesome. Bring the gaze back to neutral. Cool. Set your right hand to the outside of your right hip. Reach your left arm up. Okay, root down through your sit bones and reach your left fingertips up a little higher. Have the palm of your left hand face the right. And then as your exhale happens, slowly start laterally flexing over to the right side. Keep your sit bones rooted down to the ground. Keep the shoulder blades down and away from the ears. And your palm might be facing down towards the ground. That's great. You can flirt around with this a little bit and flip your palm up towards the sky. Or keep it down to the ground. Or bend your elbow as well and play around. If you want, you can have your gaze at your right knee or looking up towards the ceiling, but find a sweet spot that'll serve you and find some stillness. And we'll stay here for a few cycles of breath. Beautiful. Come on up as you inhale, reach both arms up overhead. And then slowly bring the hands down. Awesome. Maybe shrug the shoulders out a little bit. This time, take your arms out to a T. Make stop signs with your hands and flex your fingers up and down, just to get a little flexion going in the wrists. And then bring your left hand out in front of you. Right hand crosses over, the left hand crosses over the right. And bring your right fingertips up so you have a figure four. Your left thumb is pointing up towards the sky. And then flip your left thumb down. So it's like you're giving a thumbs down. You should feel an internal rotation going in your left shoulder. So keep your left palm down for a little bit, but try to bring the left shoulder down and away from the ear. If it feels good, bring the right ear and right shoulder together just a little bit, And then bring your head back to neutral. Left thumb comes up. And then slowly bring your arms out to a T. Hands come down to the side. Maybe shrug your shoulders a little bit. Make some circles, one direction and then the other. Beautiful. Okay. Left hand to the outside of the left hip. Reach your right arm up to the sky, keeping the sit bones rooted down to the mat. Reach your right fingertips up just a little higher. Right palm is facing towards the left side. And then as you exhale, slowly side bend over to the left. Maybe walk your palms out a little bit. And once again, play around with this here. You can have palm up, palm down, bent elbow, gaze at the left knee or up towards the ceiling. So you have a handful of options and a combination of options to make this your pose, to make it what you need. And then find a spot of stillness. Beautiful. Reach your arms up towards the sky. Send them down. You do a shoulder shrug or two. And then bring your arms out to a T, flexing the wrist. And then doing the other side. So bring the right arm across in front of you. Left arm comes forward. Bend your left elbow. Right arm comes into the left elbow crease, figure four. Okay, so your right thumb is up first, okay, and then flip your right thumb down so the palm is pointing out. Once again, you're creating an internal rotation in the shoulder, so hopefully you're feeling a nice stretch in the front and internal part of the shoulder. And maybe you do some lateral flexion with the C-spine if you need it. It's just a little bit. The lateral flexion won't necessarily help you get deeper into the pose. It just might help with the attachment sites. You might feel it a little deeper there. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, flip your right thumb up. Slowly bring your arms out to a T and come down to the side. Cool. All right, from here, I want you to place your hands onto your knees. Take a nice inhale, bring the sternum through, look on up for a seated cow pose. And then chin into chest, belly button into the spine for a seated cat. And then find your cow as you inhale. Cat as you exhale. And flow back and forth here at the pace of your breath, keeping your sit bones rooted down to the ground as best can be. And then find some stillness in your seated cross-legged pose. Beautiful. Okay, come into tabletop. So hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Hands are spread nice and wide. And just come back onto the heels of the hands just for a hot second. Lift your fingers and then place each finger pad down onto the ground. And really root down through the L's of the hands. Knees are underneath the hips. Okay. Belly buttons into the spine. Taps of the feet are onto the mat. Drop the belly, look on up, tuck under toes for a cow pose, but stay here for a full cycle of breath. And then cat pose as you exhale. So you can get a little more of the spine going. Find your cow as you inhale. Cat as you exhale. Okay, you can stay here doing this if this is your jam, but if you want a little more movement in the low back, bring the right shoulder and right hip together. And then bring the left shoulder and left hip together. Allow the right hip to fall over to the right side and go back and forth that way. So you have a variation of your cat-cow. Beautiful. And then find some stillness in your tabletop pose. Walk your hands in front of you just a little bit, tuck under toes, plank pose. Root down through your hands, make any adjustments that you need so the hands are underneath the shoulders, the toes are planted. Maybe rock back and forth a little bit here. And then find some stillness. Belly buttons into the spine, crown of the head reaches forward, tailbone reaches back. We'll be here for a few cycles of breath, so taking full inhales in, following the breath out through the exhale, rooting down through the hands. One more breath here. And then dropping the knees, placing the forearms onto the mat, and then dropping the forehead for your puppy pose. Two more breaths here. And then place your hands underneath your shoulders, come back into plank for 3 breaths. And then when your next exhale happens, slowly lower down all the way to the mat. Untuck your toes. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Slowly lift into your baby cobra pose for a full cycle of breath. And then lower as you exhale. Rise into your baby cobra as you inhale. Cycle of breath here. And then lower down. And this next time, maybe you come up a little higher in your cobra. And then lower down. Push into plank pose, downward dog. First downward dog of the practice, so it might feel good to pedal out the legs here. And then find some stillness. And then reach your right leg high to the sky, bend your right knee, spread your right toes. Maybe make circles with the knee or the ankle if that's what you need. Reverse direction. And then find your 3-legged downward dog. Step your right foot through to your hands for a high runner's lunge. Plant and root down through your right foot. As you inhale, stay in your lunge, look up, give yourself a cow back. And then as you exhale, straighten your right leg, round over, give yourself a cat back. Inhale, find your cow back, low lunge. Exhale, straight leg, cat back. One more time. Coming into a lunge, looking up, cow back. Exhale, straighten the right leg, cat back. And then come into your low lunge, or your high runner's lunge. Step right foot back to meet left, plank pose. Lower down slowly, or if you're ready to chaturanga, hover and find your back bend. And then downward dog. And then lift your left leg high to the sky. Bend your left knee, spread your toes. And if it feels good to make circles, go ahead, make circles. Reverse direction when it feels good. And then come into your three-legged downward dog. Step your left foot forward, high runner's lunge. Look forward. And then once again, come a little deeper into your high runner's lunge. Look up, give yourself a cow back. And then cat back, straighten the left leg. Flow into a deeper lunge. Cow back, look up. Straighten your leg, cat back. Last time. Come on forward, look on up. And then find your cat back. And then find your high runner's lunge. Right foot meets left, plank pose. Lower down to your degree. Back bend that'll serve you. Downward dog. 5 breaths here, so if you want to take a child's pose, go for it. I'll cue you when there's about 2 breaths left, so you know when to meet in downward dog. Two more breaths. And then on your next exhale, whenever that is, walk your feet to the back of your hands, finding your fold. And then find a halfway lift. And then your fold, rooting down through your feet, reach up, rise up, arms come high to the sky, nice full inhale. And settle into your prayer pose. So hands are in heart center. Give yourself a soft bow. And find some balance and equanimity on your feet here. Root down. Beautiful. All right, let's flow. Inhale, reach up. Fold forward. Find your halfway lift. Plant your hands, step back into plank pose. Lower down slowly, back bend of choice, downward dog. Two more breaths. And then as your next exhale happens, walk your feet to the back of your hands, finding your fold. Your halfway lift, your fold. Reach your arms up to the sky. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, right foot comes back, high runner's lunge. You've been here. Set your right heel down, right toes turn out. And then have your right hand plant. Lift your left arm high to the sky, easy twist here. Now you can keep your left fingertips reaching up, or if it feels good, reach for your back pocket. Give yourself a little bind. Kind of your choice, what do you need? Really taking the stomach towards the left thigh, root down through your feet. And then no matter where you're at, left arm is high. Start coming up on right fingertips. Reach your left hand back, right arm forward, look out over your right fingertips. Keep the bend strong in your left knee. 2 more breaths here. And then left hand to the back of the right thigh, right hand is high to the sky for exalted warrior. All right, yogis, you're gonna trust yourself here. On your exhale, sweep your right arm down and bring it wide across your mat, over to the right foot, and then rotate. So now you're in a high runner's lunge facing the back of your mat. Cool. All right, drop your left knee. Untuck your left toes. And take your right knee over your right ankle, deepening your pose, your low lunge. And then walk your feet back so the bum is touching the left heel. And then the right toes come up, right heel is still planted. And then to floss the hamstring, point the right toes down and then up, and down, up. So if you're noticing with tonight's practice, we're getting into some more connective tissue, a little more attachment sites. And then slowly come back into your low lunge. Tuck under your left toes, coming up into your high runner's lunge. Set your left heel down. Reach both arms up high to the sky, warrior one. Root down. Push out through the lateral of the pinky side of your left foot. Maybe bend a little deeper. And then open up to your warrior two. So hips are coming towards the side of the mat. If you want, you can always guide them there. And then straighten your right leg. Drop your left hand back. Right arm comes up for a reverse triangle. And then settle back into your warrior two. Step your left foot in a little closer. Right leg is still, straighten your right leg. Bend your left hip back, right arm forward for triangle. And you can keep your gaze down at your right foot, or you can look up at your left hand. But keep your feet rooted down. Beautiful. And then sweep your arms down the middle. Rotate your right toes towards the side of your mat and stay in a forward fold. One more breath here. And then walk your feet to frame your left foot, right toes face the top of the mat, high runner's lunge. Step left foot back to meet right. Take it through a flow. Skip it to meet in downward dog or take a child's pose. I'll cue you when there's 2 breaths left so all the ducks can stay together. Two breaths left. Reach your right leg high to the sky, 3-legged downward dog. Step your right foot through to your hand, but if you want, you can bring right knee to nose. High runner's lunge. And then from here, stay in your high runner's lunge. Lift your arms up for a salute. Maybe sink a little deeper. Maybe sink so deep that the left knee hovers on the mat. And then come on up. Keep the salute. Frame the right foot. Step left foot to meet right, forward fold. Find your halfway lift, your fold. And then reach up, rise up, arms come up high to the sky. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Plant your hand, step your left foot back, high runner's lunge. And then set your left heel down. Left hand stays planted. Bring your right arm up to the sky, easy twist. And once again, if you want to take the bind, right hand to the back of the left pocket. Right arm is high to the sky, come up on left fingertips. And then as you inhale, reach your right arm back, left arm forward, looking out over your left fingers. All right, yogis, right hand to the back of the left thigh, left hand is high to the sky, exalted warrior. Keep the bend strong in the right knee. Two more strong breaths here. And then you'll do the same thing. You'll sweep the left hand down and around, rotate your toes. So now you're framing your left foot, right toes into your high runner's lunge. And then when you're ready, reach up, rise up, warrior one. And then open up to your warrior two. Looking out over your left fingertips. Beautiful. Straighten your left leg, right hand to the back of the right thigh, left hand high to the sky. Reverse triangle. And then find your warrior two just for a hot second. So you can step your right foot in a little bit. Straighten your left leg, send right hip back, left hands forward, triangle. Once again, if you're having issues with blood pressure, keep the gaze at the left foot. Otherwise, if you're feeling safe and comfortable, you can always take the gaze up towards the right hand. Try to keep the torso open. Awesome, and then when you're ready, drop your right hand down. Left toes come to the outside of the mat or face the outside of the mat and enjoy a forward fold. And then walk yourself, so now you're framing your right foot, left toes are forward, drop your left knee. Take your right knee over your right ankle for a low lunge. And then take the bum over the, I guess it'd be your right heel, sorry about that. And flex the toes. Oh, I did this backwards. So when I think about it, I did this backwards, guys. So let's come into the low lunge. I'm sorry. So spin back around. I did this backwards. Drop the right knee, and then take the left knee over the left ankle. And then straighten the left leg. Bum comes towards the right heel. And flex the toes up and down. Cool. And then when you're ready, frame your left foot, then come back into your wide-legged fold. And then frame your right foot. I know where I went wrong. Come into your high runner's lunge. And then when you're ready, add your salute. And if you want, you can sink a little deeper. Frame your right foot, step right foot back to meet left plank pose and take it through your flow. Or skip it and meet in downward dog. I'm thrown off a little bit. I have to apologize. I have Loretta judging me. All right, reach your left leg high to the sky. Step left foot through your hands. And if you want, you can always take left knee to nose. And then when you're ready, come on up with your salute. And then frame your left foot, have right foot meet left, forward fold. Find a halfway lift. And then a fold. And when you're ready, reach up, rise up, arms come up high to the sky, and then down to the side. All right, woo, thanks for staying with me. Root down through your right foot and bring your left knee up. Hands are on your hips if you would like. If you need to, you can have a wall near you, but cross your left ankle over your right knee, flex your left toes. And then when you're ready, slowly start coming into a figure four chair pose. And if you want, if you need something deeper, place your hands onto the ground and place your shin on your right tricep. Nope, your left tricep. And then when you're ready, no matter where you're at, come on up. Slowly release. Keep the right or left knee up. And then place both feet down. Come up into your chair pose. Hands come in front of you. Hands then come into heart center. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Adding a twist. And then coming back into center. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Really focus on pressing the hands into prayer. And then come back into chair pose. Slowly reach up. Fold forward. Find a halfway lift. And then a fold. And then bring your arms up overhead. And then hands on hips. Root down through your left foot. Bring your right knee up. Right ankle crosses over left knee, figure four. Stay here. Or if you would like, you can slowly start sinking down lower. Maintaining the breath you set at the beginning. And then if you want to, you can always deepen it by placing your hands on the ground. Shin is coming onto the triceps. And then when you're ready, slowly come on up. Set your right foot down. Come back into chair pose. Bring your arms out in front of you. Hands come into heart center. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee this time. This time, open up your arms like wings. And then hands come into prayer. Taking it over to the other side, left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Open up the hands like wings. Reaching fingertips away from each other. And then come back into chair pose. One more breath. And then reach up, rise up, arms come up high to the sky. Nice full inhale. Fold forward as you exhale. Find a halfway lift. And then a fold. Plant your hands. Step back into plank pose. Beautiful. Drop your knees. And then come onto your heels. Sit up nice and tall. Okay. So stand on your heels. Next pose is camel pose. So I'll take you through half camel, one on each side, and then the opportunity to do full camel. Okay, so if you want, you can start with toes tucked under. Come up nice and tall, have a nice neutral spine. Reach your right arm up, and then slowly reach your right hand back for your right heel. And then left arm can come up. Push the hips up or back. Be gentle on how far you drop your neck. Not to project my issues, but I really don't like heart openers. So I always feel very vulnerable here, and I tend to like not get anxious, but anxious like. So I focus on my breath in the heart openers. One more breath. And then as you inhale, come on up. Settle back into rock pose, so hands coming down to the side. Yeah, full disclosure, sometimes heart openers can be vulnerable for people because it leaves everything exposed. All right, come back onto your knees. This time, bring your left arm up. And then slowly reach your left hand back for your right heel, right arm can, or left heel, right arm can come up high to the sky. Taking solid breaths here. And then when you're ready, slowly coming up, settling back onto the heels, coming up nice and tall. And just let the spine neutralize, because you just did this intense back opening or back bend. You don't want to like overdo it and go forward. So just neutralize the spine here. Awesome. All right. I'll cue a full camel here, but if you want to do half camel again, I'll say like, oh, it's a halfway point, so go ahead and switch on your own terms. Okay, so for full camel, place your hands on the small of your back, bring the elbows together, and slowly start leaning back. And then pick one heel to place a hand on, and then the other, lifting the heart up to the sky. Switch if you're choosing to do half. And then nice full inhale brings you up. Settle back into rock pose as you exhale, or hero. Beautiful. Okay. Slowly walk yourself forward, hands onto your mat, and then find a plank pose. And then bring your forearms to the mat for a forearm plank for 5 breaths. One more breath. And then drop your knees, come back into hero pose or rock pose. Cool. All right. Take your bum to one side, and then bring your feet around. So now the feet are flat, knees are up, and give a hug to the knees. Cool. All right, hands come to the back of the thighs, find the sweet spot. And then when you're ready, inhale, come into a boat pose. Toes come up. Hands come out. All right, you're gonna row your boat. So, imagine that you have an oar, go over to the right. And then come back into center and then go over to the left. And then use your breath to guide you from right to left. And some of us are gonna paddle faster than others because we're really trying to get upriver. And others of us are just going to be nice and slow because for reasons. All right, just a few more times. And then find your boat. Come up nice and tall, and then as you exhale, lower everything down onto the mat. Cool. All right, feet come flat, knees come up. Shimmy the shoulders, shift the hips. And then bring your left knee into chest, right leg comes long. Hug your left knee, push out through both heels. Take a few cycles of breath here. And then extend your left leg up to the sky. And then once again here, you can point the left toes towards your face or up towards the ceiling, flossing the hamstring. And then hug your left knee into chest. Take a hold of your left toes with your right peace finger. So you're coming across body just a little bit. And then take a nice full inhale. And on your exhale, just guide your left leg across body. Some of us are just going to go just past the midline. Others of us may be able to come down deeper or more towards the right. So find that sweet spot that works for you, like where in the arch from the ceiling to the floor will work for you, where you're not rolling so far deeply over to your right side, but that you get a nice sweet stretch going in the left hip. Keep the right leg engaged. Beautiful. And then slowly meet with the left knee, hug back into the chest. Maybe you take it as wide or to the outside of your shoulder. And then bring your right foot onto the mat so the right knee is up. And then cross left ankle over your right knee. So you did this standing, now you'll do the supine or lying down. Thread your arms through, take a hold of the back of the right thigh, left elbow hooks into the left knee, and hug the right knee into your chest. If you need a deeper stretch, maybe you bring the right leg long, bring the nose to the knee. Kind of find what works for you. One more breath here in your reclined pigeon. And then slowly release, hugging your knees into your chest. Maybe rocking from side to side or making a pelvic clock by guiding your knees in circles or in a circular pattern. And then in your own way, hug your right knee into your chest and extend your left leg long. And then send your right leg high to the sky, point your right toes up or down. And then bend your right knee back into your chest. Peace fingers with your left hand. Wrap them around your right toe. And then when you're ready, slowly start guiding your right leg over to the left side. Find that sweet spot in the arch where you're going to feel a nice stretch in the right hip, right glute area, but you're not rolling so far over to the left side that you're taking your whole body with you. You kind of want to focus everything in the right hip. You're going to feel it in other places too, but this is where you want your focus to be. I mean, you can think about your jawline the whole time too, just like dropping the jaw. One more breath here. And then bring your right knee back in. Maybe you take it as wide as your shoulder. Just enough so you can bring your left foot onto the mat. Left knee is up. Cross right ankle over left knee. And then in your own way, hug your left knee into your chest. Hook your right elbow to your right knee. Flex out through your feet. Sink in a little deeper. You want to be a little sweeter. Left leg comes high to the sky. Maybe the nose comes to the left knee. Gonna find what works for you. What do you need? And then when you're ready, slowly release, hug both knees into the chest. Maybe rock from side to side or make circles. And then find both feet flat onto the mat, about hips distance apart, arms come down to the side. Walk the heels a little closer to the bum so you can feel your fingers brush your heels. And then toss around a little bit so you have some equanimity in the low back and in the shoulders. Maybe rock the head from side to side. Beautiful. Okay, root down through your feet, root down through your arms. And then when you have an inhale, lift the hips high to the sky for a bridge pose. Relax the butt. Push down through the feet, lift a little higher, maybe tuck chin into chest just a little bit. But keep your gaze up. Lift the hips a little higher. And then slowly lower down just a little bit. Allow the knees to come in for a few cycles of breath. And then slowly bring your feet flat, knees up again. This time I'll cue you into a full wheel pose if that's in your practice, but if not, hang out and bridge. So when you're ready, lift your hips, root down through your feet. If you want to stay in bridge, what you can do is walk your hands in, tuck under the shoulder blades, and make a fist and point your fist towards the heels. If you want to try wheel pose, this is totally your jam. You can try it, you can skip it. Place the palm of the hands by the shoulders, but flip your fingers so they're facing your shoulders. Push up and place the crown of the head onto the mat, and then lift up into wheel. So no matter where you're at, you'll hang out here for a few cycles of breath. Keep the glutes relaxed. If you're in wheel, bring the crown of the head down. And then the back of the head, the shoulders. If you've clasped your hands, slowly untuck your shoulder blades, come on out. And then lower the vertebrae down so the low back is touching the mat. And maybe take the knees from side to side. So allow the knees to drop completely over to the right side and then over to the left side. And then hug your knees into your chest and send them up to the sky. If you want something underneath your low back, you can always lift your hips and place a block or stack your hands underneath your low back for legs up against the wall. And then if you place anything underneath your low back, slowly lift your hips, remove the prop or your hands, tuck knees into chest, and slowly extend, coming into your full Shavasana expression here. So before you get settled too much here, give yourself a nice full body stretch. Fingertips away from toe tips. And then allow your arms to come down to the side and allow the feet to just splay open. Cool. Take a full inhale in. Maybe remind yourself of what it was like to take up space. And then exhale, sigh it all out. Take another nice full inhale in. Exhale, sigh it out. And allow your breath to fall into a natural rhythm, and I will call you back. Slowly begin by taking control over your breath. Make your way onto your right side into a nice fetal position and hang out here, no rush. Place your left hand onto the ground and bring yourself into a seated position. Sitting up nice and tall. Hands are on your knees, or maybe they're in heart center. Reach your arms up overhead, bring them together in prayer. And as you come down through heart center, pause at your third eye as a reminder to have loving thoughts. Pause at your lips as a reminder to have loving words. And pause at your heart and give yourself a soft bow as a reminder to have loving actions to yourself and to others. The light and love in me acknowledges and honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.